Welcome to the X Room podcast. We're so excited. We have a fantastic guest, but my name is Maylee Nelson.
Sean Finnegan.
Yeah, and we got Bubba here.
Hey, I'm here.
So excited to have you.
Thanks, guys.
So we'll kind of just dive right on in, right?
Let's go.
Okay, so we like to start out with kind of like the deep, raw emotions of maybe what can give us a little background of who you are, you know, what you do, but then also what was that lowest of low before you,
let's just go into the hard stuff right
Okay,
away.
let's do it.
Right? Like, why wait?
We like to lean into that stuff for sure. Bring it on.
You guys, so the name is Bubba Page. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So started back in college and have just built companies ever since. I've turned into a venture capitalist now. I had first an angel investor, mostly into tech companies primarily. And now I focus with Influence.VCs, which is what I run, the company that I run. And we invest in consumer product and consumer tech businesses. Okay. That's primarily the focus.
Consumer products.
Yep. And it may help a little bit. I also have thebusinessbootcamp.com and soon to be launched is fatherhoodmovement.com.
Put me in. Put me in, coach.
You know what? I'm a dad of 8. So here's the thing. I've got 8 kids, 4 boys, 4 girls, ranging from 5 to 15.
And they're beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
They are.
Yes.
They're
So
good
beautiful.
kids. And so that's a little bit about me. Grew up in the Bay Area, been here in Utah for 20 plus years, went to school just across the street here at BYU. And life is good. But when you talk about the lowest of lows, let's just go.
Yeah.
So 2 core areas of my life was where I hit a low that changed the trajectory of my one career and life. So one of them was in 2016, I had to shut down one of the businesses that I had started. And that shutting one down, it was a venture-backed software company. I went through the Techstar program, which is like Y Combinator, if entrepreneurs have heard about that. And I felt inspired from God, literally, to start this business. So when I had to shut it down, I was like, what?
It's your baby.
What is this?
Yeah. Because I felt it came from God, and then all of a sudden,
to do this. And now, many years later, I can look back and realize that I needed that. What you can call it humbling. I needed that to like reshape my focus in my life. So about that time is when I started to dedicate more of my life to God. And I really started putting forward more time and energy into worship, into scripture study, into, how I can serve and help other people. But it was only because I had this moment in time where I had to rethink my life.
Yeah.
And so when I shut down the business, again, I was devastated, felt, I think for the first time, depression and anxiety in my life. And it was this thought process of like, okay, well, who am I? Why am I here? What's really going on? Because my whole life up to that point was, I am an entrepreneur. I was winning awards. I was on magazines. I was doing, and then that didn't work. So I had to look at myself and say, okay, who am I really? And at the core, I'm a son of God, right? That is like the first thing that I try to teach my kids and anyone else listening. You are a son or daughter of God. And at that core, then I had to realize, okay, what do I need to be doing in my life? Like, where can I make the most impact? And it was interesting because I felt this pull to become more temporally prepared. You've heard of people saying that they're a prepper.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we live in Utah. We're a prepper state, right?
There's different levels of being a prepper. I don't have some bunker somewhere.
Right.
Oh, dang it. I was hoping.
But I felt like I do have an off the grid cabin. Maybe that's
Cool.
the same.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah, we'll go do that.
Yeah.
But so I went through this 6 months process of feeling guided by God to whether acquire certain things and prepare my family in case of an emergency. It's like an insurance policy in my mind. But at the end of the 6 months, I felt this peace, this calm, this like, good job. You listened, and I had to make sacrifices to do this. But then I felt a slap across my face after this, good feeling. And it was that I was not spiritually prepared. And it was like, oh, dang. And so that was this key piece in this 2016 era of my life where I made that dedication. And so for me, I started, worshiping on Sunday was a normal thing for me, but I started to dedicate some more time in a place called the temple. And I would go on a weekly basis, whether it's a synagogue or another holy place that you go to. I felt like dedicating that additional time was what I personally needed. And then making sure that scripture study was like a constant every day, because I needed to have something to guide my life. And that's where I felt clarity. I felt
needed
like
a compass. You needed a North Star.
I needed that.
Yeah.
And what was amazing is that all of this spiritual work helped me in my business.
Oh, 100%.
And so as an entrepreneur, a lot of folks are just hustling, they're grinding, they want that whatever car or fancy thing. Look, put yourself right with God first, build his kingdom first, and all the blessings will come behind it. And I think that and then serving others, you go and serve without any expectation of return. And God just fills your life with goodness. Yeah. And so, we're sitting here in this iHub building, and a lot of it is run through donations.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when people, I believe, when you give, even though you shouldn't necessarily expect it, you're gonna get something in return. And
it's a law.
It's just a law that
not
God
if,
works.
it's just when.
Yeah, it's like gravity.
It is.
Right.
And so I'm a big believer in that. There's a few specific organizations that I like to support for the most part, and that I'm passionate about, like teaching kids, financial literacy and entrepreneurship skills and
dads.
And
the dad movement.
Yay.
What about the dads? They got to step up.
Dad needs help.
Yeah.
Dad needs help. So that was one of the lows, though, as having to shut down that business. It was a horrific experience, but put me on a new trajectory. And the second thing that happened in my life was just last year. So again, dad of 8, was married for over 17 years and went through a divorce. And, I'm saying this and I can smile now, not that I wanted it, nor does anyone want a divorce when you get married. But I can look back. The process was about a 2-year experience from separation to divorce. I'm grateful for the lessons I had learned in 2016, 17 of leaning on God when you go through pain and trials. And so I leaned even more on his higher power that helped guide me through the hell that was a divorce. And if anybody's gone through that, probably half of those listening, since the stats are out there, have probably gone through something like that. Please lean on, if it's a higher power, whatever you want to call it, lean on God.
Would that be your number one advice for someone going through that stuff? How were you able to lean on God more during those times?
I literally would on my knees pled and said, I can't do this alone. Like it was the gut wrenching, heartbreaking feelings of going through this experience and knowing what the effects it would have on the rest of my family. That's when I just had to turn and say, I can't do this.
What was your greatest fear going through that?
The greatest fear was absolutely what it would do to the kids.
Yeah.
How would, if I 8 kids?
Right.
How is this going to impact them? Like, look, I know kids are resilient. People say that all the time.
Yep.
And look, their mom and I, we co-parent very well together. Yeah. And so I think the impact has had less than maybe what I had. It definitely had less than what I feared. But it's obviously a traumatic experience for anyone to go through.
And it's so crazy. So it's been 8 years since my divorce, and you ask them. So my son was 6, and my daughter was 9 when everything took place. And you go back now, right? They're older, right? 8 years later, and you ask them questions, and they're like the trauma that they actually go through is very different than what you think they're going through. Even though, like, very good co-parenting, like my ex and I are great friends, but it is interesting that they also need God. They also need to feel like they have someone else to lean on.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that's really incredible that you're teaching that first off, but also being a pillar of example for your children.
Trying. I mean, look, we're pro therapy. So like having kids see therapists and be able to talk through some things that maybe it would be harder to talk to mom and dad about is totally okay with. But making sure they know that they're not alone in this, that they have this amazing God who loves them and they've got these miracles and they can expect miracles, pray for miracles. We talk about angels and having them being surrounded by angels all the time. So that they know, as they continue to go through hard things, and they're so young, most of them are so young, that it will impact, I think, the future. I believe if they set their sights in life with God and put Him at the forefront, then they can overcome these trials and challenges with a lot more grace, a lot more patience. And that's where I have found, but I'm grateful for the depth of healing that it forced me to go through. And so the internal side, and for entrepreneurs listening, I know most dudes aren't going to talk about their feelings and talk about wounds that we have, but a lot of entrepreneurs, we become successful because we have wounds and there's a little chip on our shoulder. And so we go and prove the world that we can go do something. Yep. That was me. I'm the youngest child of 4. And all of my siblings, I was the baby. And so I could never do anything, technically right.
Right.
Or I'd get laughed at or whatever. And so I didn't realize this until now as a 42-year-old.
We had all chip.
I had a chip.
Yeah.
And so, look, I've got doctors, dentists, lawyers. I mean, these are all of my family members, but I was the black sheep entrepreneur. But I went all out to be able to prove, I didn't think about it at the time, but now I needed to prove my own self-worth to the people who, loved me. And when I achieved a certain, financial success, I remember looking back and thinking, that didn't fulfill me.
Nope. Isn't that interesting?
I thought that this was the goal, go make more money
than anybody else.
Like,
wait a minute.
That wasn't it.
I thought that was the point of happiness.
And it's like, okay, so young entrepreneurs listening, look, money is great and money can do amazing things to help you buy freedom with your time, of who you spend time with, what you spend your time doing, where you spend your time doing it. I love that. And financial freedom is a huge part of my life. It's why I help and mentor and coach entrepreneurs through thebusinessbootcamp.com. But the ultimate joy and happiness comes from relationships. Yeah. And first it comes with God, your spouse, your kids. Like, I think in that order.
Yeah. I love that. I saw that you had posted that. I was like,
did you see that? Okay.
Yeah. I was like, ooh.
I preach that.
I think what you're talking about, to me, the number one principle in business is persistence.
And we definitely didn't get here overnight. Yeah. I don't know one entrepreneur that doesn't have a great story, truthfully. Like, somebody that has the chip, there's a story, right?
Yeah.
If you're super successful, I want to hear the story. And I want you on the podcast because I want to hear all those. Yep.
You got this. You're helping a lot of people, no doubt.
Oh, thank you.
I think entrepreneurs that are listening, knowing that everyone has to go through some level of hell in their life, and it's normal. That's like how I think it's God's plan to create the version of ourselves that's the best. I truly believe we signed up for this before we came here.
Yep.
And so knowing that everyone has a story. So if you're going through it right now, or if you haven't yet, be prepared. It's okay, because when it does come, look, lean on your higher power. I look at it as God, and knowing that you can get through it, that prayer is magical, right? When you focus that time and energy in the right area, the other things can fall into place a little bit better. So that's been the huge part for the low of lows have created higher highs because, and I look at opposition in all things. So the harder and the deeper of the hell that you had to go through, the greater the other side can be. And so I have total faith that is how this world works. And so the harder you've been going through, whatever you've been going through, you can just imagine what the blessings will be like in the future for you.
Yeah, I think they inspire. Many things that you said are inspiring, but you going through that, and then still, in 2016, you could have just said, "Hey, I gave it a good run."
Yep.
You know what I mean? And somehow you were persistent. You woke up, you put your shoes on the next day, you went back to work, you prayed to God, and you built your faith, and you use those things to happen for you, not to you.
No, absolutely. I love that phrase, actually. I learned it from Tony Robbins.
Me too.
Life
me too, bro.
happens
for
us.
Yes.
Not to us.
Yes.
It just gets you out of the victim mentality.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think just a grateful heart, right? It shows, and you wear it on your sleeve, which is really, really beautiful. I feel like so often we hide behind those walls, right? And I love that you're like, nope, take me how I am, right? I think it's really beautiful. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. If there was a golden nugget that you think would, really just resonate with our followers or our listeners, gosh, give them a nugget to carry them through.
Oh, for sure. Here's a base level nugget, and then we'll get into something deeper.
Sure.
Look, young entrepreneurs who are watching this, I teach at a lot of the universities. I speak all over just to help young entrepreneurs start connecting with people on LinkedIn. As soon as you meet people, we're going to connect after this to make sure we're... Connect on LinkedIn. I know it may not be the cool thing as a 20-something-year-old to even sign up for LinkedIn, but I'm telling you, it will benefit you in your future life for sure. So find me on LinkedIn, connect with me on there. That's one of the easy areas. I'm very active on social media with Instagram as well. So feel free to connect on all those pieces.
Yay!
But the nugget is really, remember who you are. You are a son or daughter of God, and that is your ultimate identity. Anybody else can say whatever they want about you. You are a son or a daughter of God, and know that He wants you to be successful. So when you create, if you want to be that entrepreneur, or if you already are, he wants you to have abundance, because when you have abundance, you can share and give and help other people. So have that faith that you can do this, and you will have to go through the level of hell that you've got in your life, whatever that is that's in your plan, but know that he's got it to prepare you to become the person that you are meant to be.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing such golden nuggets. So many, right?
So many
oh my
good
gosh.
things. We got like 20, 30 clips in there.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. So if you would like to join us, obviously put in the text below, like, hey, I would love to be a part of this.
Yes.
If you want to be on our podcast and you think you have something really special to share, please also DM us and let us know. Obviously, give us a like, a subscribe, ring that
It's a real
bell.
honor.
And yes, right.
Thank you so much,
Bubba.
We
This
appreciate
has
it.
been so amazing. See you soon.